Hey, what is up, you guys? It is your boy Regos, and today, well, it seems like our media is on fire right now because of a recent event. And you probably already know what kind of event I'm talking about, but for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, who don't really pay attention to the news, I'm talking about the situation that happened basically over the weekend with the Native American and the kids from school that are wearing MAGA hats. Them themselves wearing MAGA hats isn't that important of a detail, but unfortunately in this story it is, because that's what the media highlights, and that's specifically why this entire ordeal is just gone to hell. So what basically happened over the weekend is that a video surfaced of a Native American surrounded by a group of boys wearing MAGA hats. They're chanting at him while he's drumming this weird drum, and he's singing his Native American song, and there's basically a kid standing right in front of him in his face. I'm so people see this as a disrespectful thing. They're screaming at the kids now. They're basically, trying to dox them because they think they're monsters, all because they decide to stand in front of the Native American. Now, when I first saw the video, my first gut reaction was not anger or shock, but it was mostly about confusion, because I didn't know what was going on. The guy who posted the video, he was a lefty, and he said some gibberish, and I was like, okay, but that doesn't really explain anything. It just, explains to me what you think about the situation, but it doesn't explain to me what is actually happening. So I watched the video, and I didn't understand what was happening. My first initial question was, what are these two parties doing in this situation? Why are they here? I didn't think much of it, so I just kept on scrolling and, looked at memes. Until 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes after I saw that video, more videos began to rise from that situation, and more serious comments began to form around this scenario. And it's gotten so serious to the point that it's made national news. Now, in the video, I've already stated that there was one side that stated that the boys were at fault, that they were mocking the Native American, that the boys were in the way of the Native American because of that one clip. They based off that entire scenario of what happened based off that clip. Now, I did state in the video that more videos began to rise up after that video I saw, and those videos gave more context of what actually happened and transpired in this situation. And it shows clearly that the boys did not surround the Native American because they were racist or they had something against the Native American. In fact, what actually happened, and there is video evidence of this, and I will show it in this video while I'm talking about it, is the Native American specifically walking towards the crowd to confront them. As the story goes, the Native American, or Mr. Phillips, wished to go to the Lincoln Memorial. Now, if you see in the video that I'm showing you right now, he has plenty of room to do that. But unfortunately, instead of wanting to go to the Lincoln Memorial, which he could have done if he just went straight, basically, without the crowd of the big boys, he went straight towards the boys and confronted them. And do you remember when I said the kid that got in front of him, that kid who got in his face? It actually wasn't the kid who got in his face, it was actually Mr. Phillips that got in his face. And really, this entire situation started due to a couple of black Hebrew Israelites decided to come in and started calling them racial slurs. They started calling them crackers. They even went as far as called a black member in their group the N-word. Very disrespectful.
Where's Kune West? Y'all got one nigga in the crowd. Whoa! That's racist. Oh, you got two niggas in the crowd. Oh, two niggas. Look at him. When you get old enough, they're gonna steal your organs.
Whoa, hey, we love you, bro. Hey, we love you, kid.
But the boys, they were able to handle it well. It came to the point where one of the students in that group asked one of their chaperones if they could sing their school anthem so that they can drown the hateful comments made by the protesters. And so obviously you see the video of the boys chanting something, and that's just the school anthem. It isn't really anything racist. None of them screamed at the Native American or to, like, you know, get out of the country, or they didn't scream build the wall. Nothing too controversial. Really, all the chanting was their school anthem, because they wanted to drown out all of the hateful comments. Also, there's a video as well showing another angle of one of Mr. Phillips' friends confronting one of the students, and the students tried to confront them back, but the same student that was in the face of Mr. Phillips tried to tell his friend to not confront them because it would just cause more, you know, trouble and more issues.
So you wanted to go back to Europe where you came from. This is not your land. No, it's not. You've been here 2-3 generations compared to us. We've been here a million fucking years. So get the fuck out of my face with that shit.
Let's go all the way back to Africa. Asia was connected to North America.
Bullshit. That's BS theory.
It's not bullshit.
BS theory.
It's not bullshit.
It's proven, man. Come on. It's proven.
You're right, it is bullshit.
You just want to believe what you want to believe.
And again, no one got in a fight, no one got hurt, no one started getting physical. It was just really bluffs, if that makes sense. Just basically bluffs from the Mr. Phillips and his gang, and also the other people as well, the black Hebrew Israelites. So do you think that with the information that came out with the new video surfacing, that the media would correct themselves, saying that, oh, okay, maybe it's not the kid's fault, but it's really about Mr. Phillips' fault? But no, unfortunately not. The media still held their ground and stated that it was the kid's fault. They even went as far as interviewed Mr. Phillips, who basically lied to the faces of CNN, which they believed him 100% without even questioning him about what transpired in that event. This situation has become so horrific that the kids involved, and not even involved with this situation, you know, they were just there, you know, with the group, they got affected by this. Basically what you have is a bunch of people, and when I mean a bunch of people, I mean a lot of people screaming death to these kids. They want these kids dead, only because they started chanting around Native American, and one kid was in the face of Mr. Phillips. Disappointingly, some people on Twitter, well-known leftists, even said they should be doxxed, and they were successfully doxxed. You know, someone had the precious time to find the information and the ID of these kids and leaked it all over Twitter. Which, by the way, I am pretty sure that's illegal, but Twitter has done nothing, and I mean has done nothing at all to punish the people who have doxed and leaked the information of the kids. Which I'm pretty sure that's against the Twitter guidelines as well. But you know, bias. So you got their information leaked, and they're also receiving threats to themselves and to their families. Remember that kid that was shown in the video as the somewhat evil kid that stood in front of Mr. Phillips? He made some statements as well, basically saying that you shouldn't be attacking his family for this. They weren't even involved with this, you know. And he was basically defending himself and such like that. And honestly, I want to say that he is such an honorable man. He's just an honorable person to come out, even in the face of danger, even in the face of basically the entire nation wanting a knife to their throat, to make that statement, you know. And people are gonna be like, that's a bunch of bull crap, you know, but he still did it, and that's extremely honorable, you know. He might be 16, but he acts like a man, you know, instead of other people who are older than him, and you'd think they'd be more intelligent because of age, but no, that is a filthy lie. I feel extremely sorry for these kids. Honestly, I feel horrible for these kids because they got screwed over, and it's not even their fault. It's the media's fault. They have ruined these kids' lives. They should honestly pay for what they have done to these kids. But will they admit it? No. No, they won't. Why? Because they had an agenda. an agenda to smear these kids because they had MAGA hats on. And because they looked at one video and they didn't ask basic questions. They just looked at it and took it for face value. Even the people who looked at news sources that reported about it took it as face value. And that is how everything just transpired and just made it way worse than it needed to be. Again, I think this entire situation is a mess. I don't think it was an appropriate response to the situation, but again, it happened and the kids are affected by this. So I'm terribly sorry that this has happened to them. But unfortunately, this is also affecting their school because they're getting bomb threats. They even had to cancel a football game because of a bomb threat. So they're getting threats left and right because of a stupid situation, a situation that was misinformed with lies and deceptions made by the media. So again, I implore you people to do research, ask basic questions. Do not take the media for face value. Don't even take me for face value. Look for the evidence for yourself. It may seem like they know what they're talking about, but at the end of the day, we are all fallible, okay? We're all fallible. We make mistakes. And sometimes the mistakes have small consequences, but unfortunately in this situation, the consequences are extreme. It goes to show you that the media is so fucked up. Honestly, the media is so deceitful that it has an agenda. It has an agenda and it doesn't care whoever gets hurt. It doesn't care. It wants its point to come out as soon as possible. That's basically all I have to say about this situation. Again, I'm so sorry for the boys, and I feel no sympathy for Mr. Phillips because he's a liar, an overall scumbag. So I feel no sympathy. But again, guys, thank you for watching this video. Send some love towards their way. They need some. I'll see you the next one. Bye-bye.